I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need that Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm blind, yeah. Sipping low-key. I'm sipping low-key and honest. Rider, rider. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need that Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side, yeah. When I'm pulling up right beside you, pop star Lil Mariah, you wanna text cute gay and wildness. Throw a stack on the Bible, never Snapchat or took Molly. She fought for plenty, her and all her guineas, yeah. We at the top floor, right there off through Henny, yeah. Oh no, I can't fuck with y'all, yeah. When I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong, yeah. Saucing in the city, don't get misinformed, yeah. They gon' pull up on you, brr, brr, brr. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate, yeah. Cause we from a place you cannot stay. Oh, you can't go, oh, I don't know. Oh, back the fuck up. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our Group A division for the BMW JCW Mini League for 2021. So for the guys that was with us for the Group B and C race, was quite a bit of action-packed and a little bit of incidents here and there that the race stewards will be investigating, but overall, not too bad. The racing was good and the guys had a lot of fun. I tried to get some of them in for a bit of a discussion after the race, but unfortunately no one was available. So we'll have to see if we can get someone in for Group A class after the race to see if someone can maybe give us a little bit of information of how it was out there on the track. Just to give a little bit of info, the track that they are racing on tonight is Spa. The track is 7 kilometers in length and they built the track in 1920. It's quite a few years old. It's about 100 years old, this racing track, and still in use today. So it's going to be quite interesting. You can have a look on the display at the moment. We've got the track layout. There's quite a few long straights and then some sharp turns as well. So for the Mini, the gear ratio is a little bit difficult. They do tend to run out of revs for here and there, but they do push to the limit. They don't run out too badly. But in the first race, you guys saw it was a lot of what do you call it, dicing and fighting going on for positions. So it was very competitive. It was a very nice race, and I can assure you with the Class A guys it will be even better because the times is a lot closer together. Having a look at the times just quickly, I can see that they've got less than a second between each other at the moment. So this is going to be very interesting to watch, and it's going to be nice racing. We hope there's not too many incidents out there tonight, but we will have to wait and see. I hope you guys did refill your coffees and everything. I see Dangerous Banana on the YouTube channel saying there his coffee is ready, his muffin is ready, so he's ready for the racing. So we've got about 14 members out there. For the ones that can say hi, please drop a message, tell us who's watching. Please do go and like the video, subscribe to our channel, share the link with your friends and family, get everyone to join in and watch the racing. The more viewers we can get online, the better it will be. Feel free to have a bit of a chat with us. Go to our YouTube channel, have a little bit of a look there, our Facebook page, as well as our Discord and WhatsApp links. Everything is on our Facebook channel. So please, again, do go have a look, like us, follow us. I see Nico Smith saying he's here. It's very nice to have him here. I know he was out in the first race with the Group B and C class. Was a little bit of a bumping and bruising, a bit difficult with the faster and the slower guys together, but again, we do the best we can, and they do the best they can out on the track. So just overall for tonight, this will be a 2-race event. They will have 2 races of 20 minutes each, plus 1 lap at the end of the 20 minutes. So they tend to start 1 lap and then the time runs out. So they'll finish that one and then they'll start their final lap for the race. After the first race, there will be a full reverse grid. So the guy starting in the lead will then, or finishing in the lead, will be starting at the back, and the guy finishing at the back will be starting in the lead. Just makes it a bit more interesting and allows the drivers to have to work a bit harder in gaining that position back onto that first position and hopefully getting into that top scoring points for this evening. So as you can see, we are now going live onto the track with the qualifying. There's about 5 minutes left of the qualifying times. And at the moment, we've got Kian Ghost that's there in the pole position. He was actually racing in the Group B and C class as well, and asked to join the Group A class to have a little bit of a more competitive race and see what he can do. And at the moment, he is in the top position for this race. So you'll be starting in pole position unless someone can do a little bit of a faster time than him. He's currently doing a 2 minute 34.2. In second position, we have in the Jackdaw Racing Mini, we've got Peter Grobler that is there in the second position. Then we've got Dennis there in third position in that very nice Sim Experience SRA Mini. In fourth, we've got Warwick Stewart back for the first time in a very long time. I think this is the first race he'll be doing for this series. I know he's been working very hard. He's on leave at the moment, so it's extremely nice to see him out on the track with that Vortex Mini. Then we've got James Leach in that OC Brewery Mini of he's in fifth position then we've got Stefan with the Sim Crew Mini or the SR Crew, which stands for Sim Racing Crew. He's in the number 9, nice looking yellow and pink Mini. Then we've got Sean in the MC Fishing Mini out there in 7th position. Then we've got Donnie in the Maximum Effort Blue Mini, very nice looking Mini out there. Then we've got Gijsberg at the moment there in the Speed Shop Mini in 9th. Then we've got James Crook also in the Maximum Effort Yellow or Green Mini, very well looking Mini out there as well. Then we've got the Renier Leach in the other OC Brewery Mini. So you guys can see there's some cars that looks the same. These are actually teammates that is racing together and also family members. So James Leach and Renier Leach is 2 brothers that's racing together. And then we've got Peter Geldenhuis at the moment in 12th position in the other SR Crew Mini. So these guys are really racing, or the minis are looking extremely nice out there with that very bright yellow rims of his as well. The guys puts a lot of effort into these cars and try and get it as nice looking as possible out there. And the sponsors that you see on the sides of the cars is actually real sponsors. It's real businesses out there. So feel free to go on Google or Facebook and search the company's names. Have a little bit of a look at what they do and see if you can support them if you can and if you want to. As well as you can see that on the screen, we've got a new sponsor who is TAU Energy Drink. They're also new to SimRace Africa, as well as a new startup company that is producing their own energy drink. So again, go to Facebook, go to Google, search them, have a look, support them, and see how we can boost their business a bit, as they do a lot of effort to help us boost our sim racing as well as SRA. So we do thank everyone out there for sponsoring and putting your names on the cars, even if it's just a local business or a family member that you're helping out, trying to get them to, be there and supportive and show them that you care and show the guys that you are supporting them as much as what they support you. Still on the YouTube channel, we've got Dev that's saying good luck, gents, to everyone out there, and Nico Smith that says Jay did good of the bumper cars. It's very nice to see a little bit of humor out there. And then he's just happy that he had a good race out there and can join in for this one. So we will have 12 drivers out on the track tonight. Not a full grid at the moment, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, some of the guys can't make it into the race events as due to work or family circumstances or just the time that's not right at the moment. But overall, we are having a good race out there. We've now got Dennis, who has jumped up into that pole position with a 2-minute 34.213. And then we've got Kian in second with a 234.263. And Peter in third with a 234.310. That is 0.1 of a second between first and third. Then you've got Warwick Stewart in fourth with a 234.328, which still puts it about a second between first and fourth. And then we've got Sean, who is, 0.1 of a second. Then we've got Sean that's in fifth with a 234.4. I mean, these times are ridiculously close to each other. Each driver is less than about 0.2 of a second between each other, and then the entire field is less than a second away from each other. This is extremely fast times, and it's going to be some good racing out there. You're going to have an entire field that's just going to run together and fight that out for that top position from start to finish. So I really can't wait to see what happens out there tonight. It's going to be so amazing to watch. So, like I said, sit back, enjoy the show, and just have fun with us. I see Langley out there saying hi there to Dennis, shouting to Dennis, saying you have to enjoy your race and have fun. I'm pretty sure as I look at the times, you will definitely be going out there. So it's yeah. Unfortunately I'm alone in the booth again tonight with my co-commentators that is unavailable, but it's all good, not a problem. I'll just try and give you guys the best commentating I possibly can. So coming to the end of this qualifying session, Dennis just made the fastest lap of this qualifying with a 2:34 dead. I mean, this is extremely fast. Then we've got Kian there in second with a 2:34.2. Peter that now pulls into the pits with a 2:34.3. Warwick already in the pits, 2:34.3. Sean that's busy finishing his last lap. Unfortunately, he's not up on his delta, so he won't be moving up anywhere in this position, and will be starting there in sixth position with a 2:34.4. Then we've got Peter there in seventh position, who is still pushing on his last lap, trying to get a better time. And we have James Leach, who has now jumped up all the way into second position with a 2:34.07. That puts him in second position, putting Kian in third, Peter in fourth, Warwick in fifth, Sean in sixth. We still have Peter Geldenhuys, who's busy pushing his final lap. He is at the moment 0.132 seconds down on his delta. Will he be able to do a faster time and jump up a position or two, or will he be finishing here in 7th? Then we've got Donnie van Rooyen, who has just gone over the start finish. I think he is up or down on his delta of 0.0 or 0.2 of a second. So I'm not too sure whether he'll be going up on his times or not, but he's busy on the overtime. Then we've got Stefan, who is at the moment up on his times of 0.21 or 0.2 of a second. So maybe he can move up a position or two still. Gijsberg is in the pits. He is going to be settling for that 10th position of a 235. Then we've got James Leach there with a 235 flat. He's also just settling in there for that 11th position. And then we've got Renier, that's in the other OC Brewery Mini there with a 235.18. So we are still at the moment in overtime. Donnie now saying, okay, it's fine. I'll pull over and go back to the pits. I'm done with my qualifying. I'm not going to try and push any harder. I'm just going to start in the position where I am. So while we are in overtime and waiting for the start of this race, sit back and enjoy the little bit of an ad break that we've got. And I will be back with you guys shortly.
I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that heartbeat, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around me, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low key. I'm sipping low key and honest, right. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that heartbeat, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side, yeah. When I'm pulling up right beside you, pops all in my ride. When I text a cute game wildness, throw a stack on the Bible. Never Snapchat or took Molly. She fought through plenty, her and all her guineas. Yeah, we at the top floor, right there off through Henny. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Yeah, saucing in the city, don't get mentioned from. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate. Yeah, cause we from a place you cannot stay. Oh, you can't go. Oh, I don't know. Oh, back the fuck up. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time.
And we are back. So it's about 4 minutes before the race, or well, 4 seconds before we go onto the starting grid. And our starting grid for this race will be from first up into the last position. Will be Dennis Mitchell, James Leach, Kian Goos, Pieter Grobler, Warwick Stewart, Sean Webber, Pieter Geldenhuys, Donnie van Rooyen, Stefan Sparks, Gijsberg Nagel, James Crook, and Renier Leach that will be there in the 12th position. This is going to be an interesting one. As you can see, the times are extremely close in the qualifying race. We've got, or qualifying session of this race. We've got about 30 seconds before the lights is out. We will be focusing this race at the start on Dennis Mitchell, and we will be seeing what happens in this one. The very first corner of this race is a tricky one. It's a very sharp right-hander, and the guys will be coming down the straight flat out, hoping to get the best drive in there. Let's hope the entire field gets through it in a safe way with as minimal damage as possible. And the race is off, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. As you can already see, some of the drivers diving to the inside, trying to get the better line going into this corner. We've got Dennis that is running away with this one. Someone turning in a bit sharply. The whole field comes through that turn. It seems like there is no hassles or drama as they now start running down this very long straight, coming into a very fast left, right, and then another left again, as they are really pushing it. Dennis is already running away with James Leach right behind him, and Sean that is there in the 3rd position. So first and second is comfortably going to be ending up with a battle, but having a look down the back there onto the 3rd position drivers, this is going to be interesting to watch the rest of the field. These faster guys in the front will definitely run away, but this is where the fighting will be going on as Donnie runs a bit wide, overshooting. There's contact between Pieter Grobler as well as who's that's involved there with him. It looks like it is Sean that is unfortunately got involved in that accident there with him. So they're now going to have to fight their way up from the back again. Going further down or up the field, we've got Warwick Stewart, who now made his move there on Kian Goos, taking that 5th position away from him. Gijsberg is in 4th position with a comfortable lead, but behind Kian there is Pieter and Renier, who is going to try everything they can to fight that out with him. Pieter already having a look up on the inside of Kian, making a way out of moving slightly to the right, running wide, now opening door for Renier Leach also to come past, but Renier runs off the track a little bit. Kian really running wide, but controlling that Mini very well, coming through that corner. Now we've got Geldenhuys that's there with Renier going through the chicane on the right and to the left. Will Renier be able to have a look up on the inside? Oh, and someone has a very bad ping spike and runs off the track there. It looks like that was Warwick Stewart that was having a little bit of a lag spike. I'm not too sure what happened there, but you could see it on the stream. Going to the front, we've still got Dennis that's in the lead with a comfortable 1 second over James at the moment, who has a very nice lead again over Donnie, who's in 3rd position with about 3 to 2 second gap that is there between the two of them. So these guys in the front is already starting to run away with this race. This track, however, does tend to have a lot of wear on the tires. So as the race progresses, the less grip the cars have and the more mistakes comes into play. And the more you have to play with your brake settings. For the ones that doesn't know, the class is limited to setup. So all the cars has the exact same setup. The only things that you can, however, change is switching on and off your ABS and changing your brake bias from the front to the back. So it depends on how your driving style is, whether you will have a little bit more brakes in the front or the back. And it also depends on how soon or how fast you want the car to stop. Seeing that sometimes moving the brakes a little bit more to the back allows the car to stop a little bit easier or faster, but it does tend to make the car a little bit tail happy. So it's interesting to see the different driving styles and setups on the cars. However, it is a driving skill based race. So if you're going to be a driver with extremely good driving skills, you'll most probably be in the front. But if you have a little bit of bad luck, you'll be at the back. So yeah, as you know, in this the qualifying server or session, the The guys was very close on each other, but they are now starting to pull a little bit of a gap away from each other as it comes into a race and the pressure is on, and you tend to make a little bit more mistakes. Having a look at the pack or mid pack, we've got Gijsberg and Warwick Stewart that is busy with a very nice battle going on there. Warwick is back for the first time in a long time, doing everything he can to try and get that position there from Gijsberg. However, he does not really have any points for the series, so it won't cause any incidents and cause someone to lose their race and, you know, lose out on some points. But he's also just going to have fun and race for where he wants to race and finish and do the best that he can. Further down the pack, we still have Kian Gous that now went all the way down from 4th into 8th position, with Renier Leach that's right in front of him. He's trying to have a look up on the inside, but Renier is making that mini as wide as what he can, keeping his lines close and tight, keeping the car on the apex. But Kian is now having a look up on the inside. Sean is also right there on the back of Kian, so if Kian is going to make a move, he's most probably going to try and follow him. However, if he runs a bit wide, he's going to fall in there behind Renier and hopefully take that position away from Kian, as Kian now tried to run past the outside there, around the outside of Renier, and got it right, but unfortunately opened the door for Sean to also make a move there on Kian. So Kian is still in 8th position, gaining on Renier but losing out to Sean as they go down the start-finish straight, coming into that very sharp right-hander. Can Kian run the slipstream? He's trying to have a look up on the outside, hopefully trying to push Sean a bit wider and go for that undercut, trying to cut back into the corner, getting a better drive out of this corner, going into the straight to that fast left and right chicane. Now this is the section of the track where you run flat out from where they are now, straight through to the next corner. You do not ease off the accelerator, you do not brake, you just hope and pray that the car sits there through the corner and you don't lose control of it, and still going flat out through this next turn and then only brake for the next corner. So that section of the track is actually most probably the part of the track that has the most wear on the tires and puts the most strain on the drivers, because you need to keep your focus and you need to push it as hard as you can. As you see, Kian had a better run through that piece of track, unfortunately losing out there trying to overtake, but running a bit wide, opening the door again for Sean to come past. And now he's got Renier that's also looking up on the inside as he runs slightly off the track, and the outside of this track really slows the cars down very badly. So if you go off, you tend to lose at least a position or some major time. So now he's all the way down into 9th position and has to try and fight his way back up. Dennis still going there in 1st position, taking this one from start, hopefully to finish with about 10 minutes left to go. So we're halfway with this race, and then we've got 1 lap to go after the time is done. Then we've got James Leach there in 2nd position, just comfortably, knowing that he's got about a 2-second lead over Don, who's in 3rd position. So he's got nothing much to worry about. He must just stay consistent and just drive his drive, and he will definitely be finishing there in that 2nd position. Or maybe he can catch up to Dennis and take that 1st position away from him. However, he is about 2 seconds behind, and it's very difficult to catch someone when they're only like 0.2 of a second faster than you, and you've got 2 seconds that you need to catch up to them. Then we've got Gijsberg that's there in 4th with Warwick Stewart, who now has Pieter Geldenhuys having a look up on the inside. Can Pieter Geldenhuys make this move on him? Still having the inside line. He is running it extremely hard, going over 2 wheels through that corner, running a little bit wide and losing that position back to Warwick again, who has had the better drive through there and took that 5th position back. Now Pieter is really most probably going to be angry at himself and going to push as hard as what he can, coming down the start-finish line, hoping that he can regain that time that he lost there and get that position from Warwick. But he's not going to give up. He's one of our very fast drivers out there on the track in each and every car that he races, each track that he races. He does exceptionally well. So the guys is always very happy if they can say they beat Pieter Geldenhuys. It's always a very hard thing to do. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get back on there to Warwick and maybe take that 5th position away. But Warwick is not just going to hand it over to him. He's going to make him work for it. Right at the back, we've got James Crook and Stefan, who is busy fighting it out there. I'm not too sure what happened to the two of them, but they are quite far back down the field. They're in 11th and 12th position with about a 22-second gap between them and the top runners in this race. Then we still have in 9th position Kian Goos and Peter Grobler, who's there in 10th position, who started very high up in the front of the race, but unfortunately he had a bit of an incident there and went all the way back down into the bottom part of the field. So again, he's one of our founding members. He's an extremely good racing driver. He knows these tracks. He knows the cars. He does a lot of time building cars and changing some of the tracks and improving on them. So he puts in a lot of effort and time on the tracks and cars. So he's one of the very good drivers, but every now and then you have a little bit of a bad luck and you fall back to the back. But he's always one of those drivers who knows how to work his way back up to the field. And like I said in the beginning, this is also a full reverse grid for the next race, or for race number 2. So the driver starting in or ending in the front will be starting at the back for the second race. So if they finish at the back, they will be starting in the front, which will give him a little bit of an upper hand for the second race of this evening. Going back to the front, Dennis now has a 3-second lead over James Leach, who again has a 2-second lead there over Donnie, that's in 3rd position. And Gijsberg is about 1 second behind Donnie, slowly but surely closing that gap and gaining there onto Donnie. So very shortly we should be having a battle there for that 3rd position, with Warwick Stewart, who's also right there at on the back of Gijsberg, and Peter Geldenhuis, who's also busy closing the gap there again on Warwick Stewart. So this might end up being a 5 to 7-way battle there for 3rd position. It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens at the end of this race, and it's making me extremely excited. I'm not sure about you guys, but you're more than welcome to have a chat to me on the YouTube channel. I can see it live, so feel free to send me a message, say hi, give a shout out to the people watching the stream, or even to your favorite driver on the track. Looking down at the field, we've now got Sean that made a move there on Renier Leach, running around the outside, cutting the track slightly, but eventually getting through there on Renier. Now he's going to start working his way onto Peter again. There was an incident between Peter Grobler and Sean in the beginning of the race. However, Peter Grobler came out the worst in that one, but now Sean is busy fighting his way back and getting this very good drive back into this race. So I will be happy to see what happens. Again, just having a look at the YouTube channel, I still see we've got Langley there, we've got Dangerous Banana that's still there, shouting for the police van to go. We've got Joni Lee, who is our lady racer in our Group B class, also on the stream, giving a shout out, saying the guys must have a good race. It's very nice to see the Group B and C guys supporting the Group A drivers out there. Next race coming up will be the final one on Kyalami next week, Sunday. And that's going to be a very interesting one. We will again have the Group B and C racing together there. And then for the very final one, which is the Group A race, we will have a all-comers race. So we will be having the Group A guys racing for their points in this series, but we will also have the Group B and C guys joining in on the race just for the fun of it, to make the field a little bit bigger and giving a bit more pressure onto the Group A guys, and have an entire field full of minis. So that just depends on who's willing to go for a bit of a endurance race, doing their first 2 races with B and C, and then also again joining in for another 2 races with the Group A guys. So that's also going to be a very fun one to watch. So feel free to just follow our Facebook page, have a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay in touch with when the streams is going to happen and when they start, so that you can join in and enjoy the racing with us and support the drivers out there. So on this, at the moment, the guys are doing quite fast times. I can see some of them doing a 2:34 high times, and then some of them doing the low 35s at the moment. I'm sorry for this thing being over the screen. There we go. That's out of the way. Still, we've got Dennis that's just running away. He's got a 5-second lead now over James Leach in 2nd position, who you can see in the background now has Donnie and Gijsberg that is really closing in on him. There is less than a second between James and Donnie, with 0.5 of a second between Donnie and Gijsberg, and then again a little bit of a gap between Gijsberg and Warwick. So I'm not too sure what happened there, but you can see Gijsberg has pulled away from Warwick, who is comfortably there in 5th position, with Pieter Geldenhuys right behind him in 6th position. However, there's about a 2-second gap between the two of them. And then you've got Sean that is now going to start fighting it out there with Pieter Geldenhuys at the moment as they are closing in on each other, and Renier leads running very wide off the track into that kitty litter that slows him down very badly, and unfortunately he's now out of the fight between Sean and Pieter there. But Sean is not going to give up. He's really putting the pressure onto Pieter. He wants that 6th position from him, and he's going to try and do everything that he can to get past him there. So going back up to the front, we still have Dennis and James. Now, I'm pretty sure no one will be able to catch up to Dennis unless he makes a very big mistake and runs off the track or makes a bad accident out there on his own, because he's got about a 5-second lead now ahead there of James. But Donnie is catching up to the back of him. But it seems like Renier or James has been able to pull a slight gap there between him and Donnie, but Donnie has got Gijsberg on top or right on the back of him. So what generally happens is the moment two drivers goes into a battle for a position, they tend to slow down a bit. So either the guys in the front will start running away, or the guys at the back will start gaining on them. So you need to decide when you are going to battle for position, or when you're just going to, settle into your position and just maintain your drive and settle for that position, because you can either make a mistake and cost your entire race, or you can maybe gain that position. So it's all about how your car handles and where about in the race you are. We've got about 1 minute left of this race, and then they will be starting their final lap. So it will be interesting to see what happens throughout. I said this time is going to be close, and it's going to be close racing. We've got a few close dices that is busy going on. However, the pack is quite widely spread out there. But the guys is doing their best to get into that best or top positions as they can. Like I said, Dennis is taking this one from start to finish at the moment. He's pushing that gap even further and further away. He's got now a 5.5 second lead over James that is in 2nd position. He's really doing well out there. He's getting faster and faster with every race, and he's extremely consistent. So the more you race with the people, the better you get your consistency, and the better you end up driving there. I see we've got Wacky Wayne that says hello from Class B and C, where he says Class B and C was a bit wicked. But again, that is racing. Incidents happen, and you can't always control what happens and the outcomes of what happened. However, I do know the racing stewards is having a look at it. Oh, and I see we have Kian Gous, who disconnected from the server. It seems like he has some technical difficulties and has now got a DNF. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I will have to have a little bit of a chat to him and find out. As you can see, the leaders has 2 laps to go. That means the 20 minutes has ended. They will be finishing this lap, and then they will start their final lap. And Dennis is still pushing very hard in the front. However, James is slightly trying to catch up to the back of him, as he has now closed that gap from 5.5 seconds down to 4.9. So I'm not too sure whether Dennis had a bit of a run off of the track, or if James has just decided to, just step on it and get this thing going and hopefully close that gap. However, closing 5 seconds in 2 laps is a lot to ask, and I'm not too sure if you'll be able to get it right. Dennis is now going down the start finish and will be starting the final lap of this race. Still have James Leach in 2nd, Donnie in 3rd, with Gijsberg there in 4th. So Gijsberg has now caught up to the back of Donnie, and he will be pushing it very hard in this final lap, trying to take that 3rd position from Donnie. But Donnie is doing extremely well out there. He started quite far back in the pack, but worked his way up, and Donnie is one of our more consistent driver. So once he gets going, you're not going to catch him very easily, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So he just keeps that car in that line, and he will do whatever he can to just keep you behind him. He's very defensive, and as you can see, he's now on the attack on James Leach. He's got 0.3 of a second between the two of them. He's having a look up on the outside as James runs into the inside. Can he make a move coming into these final few corners of this race, or will James be able to defend that second position and keep Donnie behind him? You can see Donnie is still comfortably sitting there behind James, trying to get that drive out, having a little bit of smoke coming out of the tires as he gets some wheel spin through the corner, trying to push that Mini to its limits, that maximum effort Mini, and whatever he's doing is literally standing on the side of the car. He's really giving it the maximum effort to get that Mini into that second position. But James is really defending well. He's now pulling a gap over Donnie again. So if they can just say, you know what, it's fine, I'm not going to fight it out too hard, I'll just settle for my position. This is the way the race should be ending for this evening, for the first section or first half of this race for tonight. We still have Warwick Stewart in 5th position. We've got Peter and Sean still fighting it out there for 6th and 7th. Sean is pushing it extremely hard there on the back of Peter Geldenhuys, but he is defending very well. Having a look up on the inside, but he's got the better line through the corner and says, no, I'm not going to open up for you. If you want to come past me, you're going to have to drive around me. So again, this will be interesting as he's having a look up on the outside, just getting out of that slipstream. He's trying, but he is not getting it right. Peter is just keeping that line extremely close. Sean trying to cut back, but he does not get an opening. Peter is just saying, nope, I'm not letting you through. This is mine. I'm not giving up my 6th position. He's trying to have a look up on the outside, going for the undercut as Peter runs a bit wide. But he's got the better drive, and they're going down the start finish. Dennis is finishing in 1st. James in 2nd. Donnie 3rd. Gijsberg 4th. Warwick in 5th. Peter Geldenhuys in 6th. Sean is finishing there in 7th. Renier in 8th. We've got Peter Krobler that is now finishing there in 8th or 9th position. We still got James Leach or James Crook and Stefan that will be finishing this race in 10th and 11th position. Unfortunately, we have Kian Gous who disconnected off the server and got a DNF. I'm not too sure whether he will be back for the second race or not. If he is, Kian will be starting in 1st position and Dennis will be starting right at the back. So this will make it very interesting to see what will happen in the second race. Can Dennis again work his way through the pack and get into that top scoring position, or will he struggle and not be able to make it? I'm pretty sure that he can, but we will have to wait and see. I see Melvin is saying, okay, so Kian was not really racing with the class. He just wanted to see if he can, keep up to the pack or not, but he didn't want to cost anyone points. So he rather said, you know what, I'm backing out of this one and disconnecting off the server, allowing the guys that's actually in the class to get the points that they deserve to get. I saw what I wanted to see, and I know I can run with you guys. So next time he will most probably be out with the A class guys instead of running with the B class. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in that one as well. So the end of the first race is here. Stay tuned with us and we will see you for the start of the second race in about 2 to 3 minutes time. We are just waiting for the servers to kick over into the reset time, and then we'll be back with the racing shortly. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Go and fill up your glasses, get yourself a cup of coffee or a new muffin, as what Dangerous Banana likes to do. So just stay tuned and we will see you in a few.
I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need that Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, 281. stack on the Bible, never Snapchat or took Molly. She fought through plenty, her and all her guineas. Yeah, we at the top floor, right there off through Henny. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Yeah, saucing in the city, don't get misinformed. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate. Yeah, cause we from a place you cannot stay. Oh, you can't go. Oh, I don't know. Oh, back the fuck up. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm waiting on, yeah. This weighs you down, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time.
Right, we are back for the start of the second race. And at the moment, the guys are on the starting grid. We've got about 40 seconds before this one starts. And the starting positions will be Stefan, James, Peter, Renier, Sean, Peter, Warwick, Gijsberg, Dani, James, Dennis, and then Kian right at the back of the pack again as he disconnected and had a DNF for the first one. So it will be interesting to see. Okay, he's actually not on the server, so he won't be racing. So it will be only 11 cars in this race. And they will be on Stefan at the moment for the start of this race. Will they be able to maintain their positions, and can Dennis work his way through the pack, getting that first position back and getting top scoring points for the evening? As they pull away, you can see the guys are diving up on the inside, moving to the outside, trying to get their lines and just stay out of the way of the faster guys. We've got James Crook now falling there into the first position of Peter Grobler, who's right there on top of him, trying to get that position back from him. Just waiting for the... There we go. So we've got James in the lead. We've got Peter Grobler with Renier leads right behind him. And Peter Geldenhuys with Sean also. So this is a very nice five-way battle that's going. James Crook is at the moment trying to pull a little bit of a gap there on the guys. But will they be able to maintain it, or will they come and take it away from him? Peter is now running slightly on the inside line, and Renier is trying to have a look up on the outside. Peter, however, has the best line for the first corner, but will he be able to maintain it through the second left-hander? Yes, he does. He keeps that position, but unfortunately, Renier runs a bit wide. Opening door there for Peter to make a move on him again, and Sean is right there behind him with Warwick Stewart also in the mix. So the moment someone that makes a move, the others will just follow and push you out of the track, and you will definitely lose out into a few positions, as you can see there. That is exactly what's happening. So we've got position changes happening all over the track at the moment. Sorry for the moment of silence here. Unfortunately, they had a bit of technical difficulties, but it is fine. So James now has Peter Grobler. That is right there on the back of him. Peter is going to push hard as he had a bit of bad luck in the first race and now wants that first position for the second one. You can see that James leads running, unfortunately, very wide. Now losing out a few positions there with Dani and Stefan, and now Dennis has came past him. So Dennis already moving up with 2 positions from the start. We started in 11th position, now he's all the way there into the 8th position, now working his way onto Stefan, who is also busy fighting it out there with Dani, making his move on Dani, but can Dani defend that inside line? He's got the inside line again. Stefan has to go around the outside of him. Can he make it or not? They're going side by side through the corner, and they keep their positions as is. Stefan still now in front of Dani, but we've got Warwick Stewart and Peter Geldenhuys that's also fighting it out there. A little bit of contact there between the drivers, almost losing it, but they maintain their positions. Unfortunately, Dennis now moving up past Stefan, and Stefan losing out on 2 positions, running a bit wide and making contact there in the corner. Now we've got James Leach and Peter Grobler that was changing positions, but James now took that position back again and starts running away with this one with a 0.7 second gap, going down this long, flat out, straight few corners and then another straight. But this is a section where you don't even have to get off the accelerator. You just keep your foot flat down and you hope and pray for the best going through there. Now Stefan is also having a very big battle there with James, and unfortunately there was very big contact, and you can see there that Stefan ran into the wall. I'm pretty sure that Mini has some suspension damage, but we'll have to see what happens through the rest of this race now. Back up to the front, we've got Renier and Sean that's fighting it out as well. Sean just made his move on the Renier, taking that third position away from him. Now Sean has sorry, Peter is now right on the back there of Renier. So now Renier has to worry about Peter as well. And Warwick is also there. So if he's going to open the door for Peter, he's also opening the door there for Warwick. This is extremely close racing, and even better than the first one. The guys is really on top of each other, pushing it very hard for this one. Warwick running wide almost into that barrier on the outside, but keeping the car on the track and not making any major incidents there. Further down the pack, we still have James Leach and Donnie that is now fighting it out for that 8th position. Donnie is really trying his hardest to keep Renier behind him. Renier is a bit faster than him, and he's going to try everything he can to get past. Going up on the inside, but he closes the door on him, still trying to fight his way through. Dennis is now all the way up in 7th position. That is an entire 4 positions gained in this race. He's really closing the gap there on Warwick. He's now got about a 4.5-second gap between him and Warwick. So he's really trying his best to work his way through the pack, but the guys is not making it easy. James Leach is still in the lead, but he's got Peter Grobler as well as Sean right there on the back of him. Peter is trying to have a look up around the outside, but now opens the door there for Sean to make a move through the inside. Is Sean going to keep his line and run through or not? Peter is now having a look up on the inside of James, getting a little bit of a later break, but runs wide and gets the best drive in. There was slight contact between James and Peter, but I'm sure that Peter will be able to keep that one, or James will just say, you know what, I knocked you a bit and back out of this one, giving it to Peter and leaving it for the next corner to fight it out. Now he's having a look up on the inside, out breaking Peter, but running wide, ending up losing a lot of positions there. Unfortunately, he made a very big mistake. Now he's got to worry there about Renier that is also in the mix, running side by side of him, busy overtaking him. This is a very dangerous place to be running side by side, but he says, you know what, I'll rather back out and fall in behind you. So James is now all the way down from 1st to 4th position and has a lot of work to do to get back into that top 3 positions there. But Peter Grobler is now starting to run away with this one, but he's got Sean all over the back of him, running that slipstream, having a look up on the inside, but he closes the door on him, taking the best line through that corner. Sean locks up the brakes as they go into the second turn, but he gets a very good drive out there, unfortunately not being able to overtake Peter, as Peter knows how to make that Mini as wide as possible. But he's having a look up on the inside again. Peter locks up the brakes slightly. Is this going to be it? Yes, this is it. Sean has made his move on Peter and takes that first position away from him. Peter will be fighting back as they're running through the corner, going into the next fast corner. This is a very fast left-hander. Can Peter take this one away from him again or not? Renier is also in that fight. He's just sitting there going, you know what? I'll let you guys battle it out there in the front for 1st and 2nd. One or other time you will be making a mistake and I'll just capitalize on it. I'm just going to make sure that I'm right here to get that opportunity and take your position away from you. So he's just playing the waiting game. And Dennis is busy making his way through the pack. He's now all the way up into 7th, busy fighting it out there with James Crook, who's not going to give up that 6th position very easily. However, they did swap positions and now swap back again. So it's going to be a very nice one to watch as well, as Dennis is pushing it extremely hard. He wants that 1st place. He wants the top scoring points for this evening. So he's going to do whatever it takes to fight for this one. He's now running up on the inside. Can he make this one stick? Yes, he's got that position away there from James. But can James take it back from him again as they run side by side through the corner? And we've got James also that's right there in that fight. James now also making a move back again. And we've got Donnie that's there again as well. So this is a 3-way battle there for that 6th position. Dennis now taking that 6 away as they go into the start-finish line. Had a very nice run out there. Now James has Donnie to worry about, as Donnie is sitting on the back of him right on the outside. If he's going to brake too late and try and outdrive him, he will most probably run wide and lose that positions again. He gets a very good drive through there, regains that 6th position from Dennis. Very well driving, I have to say that. James is really doing well out there. We've got a four-way battle there for 6th position between James, Dennis, Donnie, and another James. So we've got James Crook that's in 6th and James Leach in 9th. This is extremely good racing from the guys at the back of the field. In the front, we still have Sean that has now taken the lead there from Peter Grobler, but he is really fighting back. He's got about a 0.3 of a second gap between him and Peter, and he will do the best that he can to get that position back and stay ahead there of Renier Leach as he tries to have a look up on the inside, but unfortunately Sean has the better drive on him and takes that one still through there. Then we've got Renier that is now right on the back there of Peter. There's about 0.2 of a second between the two of them. This is good racing in the front here. So we've got a very nice battle going in the front and also a very nice battle right at the middle of the field. Then we've got Warwick Stewart that's just in the middle of this field going, you know what, I'm not fighting with anyone. The guys in the front can have a fight and the guys behind me can have a fight. I'm just comfortably sitting here in the middle and just, minding my own business, having a drive, enjoying myself, and maybe have a little bit of a fight here with Peter that's in front of me. But I'm not going to cost him his race or cost my own race. So we're just going to have fun and enjoy it out here. And as you can see now, Renier Leach has made a move there on Peter Grobler and took that second place away from Peter Grobler. He is one of our very good drivers. He does very well in all of the cars and on all of the tracks. So it's very difficult to keep him behind you and also maintain or get that position back once he passes, unless he makes a mistake and allows you that opportunity to come past. So as we still have a look here, we do have Sean running away with this one. We've got Renier Leach and Peter Grobler busy fighting it out there. Then we've got Peter Geldenhuys and Warwick Stewart that's also fighting. Then we've got Dennis and James that's also fighting there with Donnie van Rooyen. We've got James Leach and we've got Gijsberg there. That's a five-way battle for 7th position. Well, for 6th position. So this is a very interesting one to watch, as well as these guys are really trying to keep each other behind, and also Dennis trying to make his way up the pack. They've got about 6 minutes left in this race, a little bit more than halfway, and it is extremely good racing and clean racing that we are seeing out there tonight. And it's very interesting to have some of the older drivers that's back on the track, like Warwick Stewart, who is just trying his best to outrun the guys out there. Again, having a little bit I see Nico says that he wants to join me. Well, Nico, if you jump on Discord, I can always pull you into the YouTube channel, so feel free to jump in there and then I can just drag you in. Then you can always join me here in the commentating booth. You're more than welcome to. We've got Johnny Lee who's saying that unfortunately, you won't be able to watch this or see the stream, but you are welcome to have a chat with me. At the moment, I've got Devin, who is on the stream. He's with me in the Discord at the moment on the commentating booth. So he's welcome to have a little bit of a chat with me if he wants to. If not, it is fully understandable if he just sits there and leaves me hanging here on my own. Jay, are you there? Yeah, unfortunately, Jay is not there. It's sad, but I wanted to have a little bit of a chat with him, but he is unavailable at the moment. So Nico, if you jump onto the chat, you're welcome to join me in this or in the voice chat. I did try and get Jay in here, but he's not here. Just remember, you won't be able to see the live stream, but you are more than welcome to have a bit of a chat with me about your racing and all of that. There's no problems about that. So still on the race, we've got Sean that is in the lead with a comfortable 2-second lead over Renier Leach. Then we've got Peter that is right there on the back of him. He's really pushing it extremely hard. He's actually up on his delta, having a look up on the inside, really have to brake hard there as Renier just outbroke him in that one. They're going down the start finish line. Now we've got Peter Geldenhuys and Warwick Stewart who's also gaining onto Renier and Peter there. So this might end up being a four-way battle for that second position. Still at the back of the field, We've got Dennis in 6th position, who's trying to close that gap onto Warwick Stewart. But we've got Dani van Rooyen and James Crook that is also fighting it out there for the 7th position. And James Leach also in the mix, having a look up on the outside of James Crook at the moment. But James has the faster line. He's got the better drive. He's keeping that line extremely tight through there. But James has a fast run through that chicane and is now on the outside of James Crook. But James has got a better drive. James Leach is now falling in behind him, trying to run that slipstream, having a look up on the outside. When you get into this corner, you've got a left and or right and a left-hander. So whoever has the best line for the first one will end up losing on this second corner. As you can see there, and Renier Leach has made his move there on, James Leach made his move on James Crook and took that 8th position away. Now James has got Gijsberg to worry about. With Gijsberg having a look up on the inside, they are running side by side. Will Gijsberg be able to take this one away from James? However, James has the better line for the next corner, but he loses it out there to Gijsberg. Gijsberg finally made his move and passed James Crook into that 9th position. So we have Warwick still in 5th position. That is just comfortably riding it out there. We've got Peter Grobler now who made his move on Renier Leach. So Peter is back into that 2nd position. This is where the race gets interesting because the tire starts wearing, the car uses the fuel, so it's getting lighter and lighter. And it gets a little bit more difficult to keep the car on the track because they start to slide out a bit more as you get on the brakes. So the handling gets a bit more difficult. So you really need to maintain your focus and try and stay as consistent as possible in this race, especially here in the last few minutes of the race. So we still have Sean that's comfortably sitting there in the lead. However, Peter has now closed the gap there onto Sean. So I'm not too sure what happened. I think Sean might have ran off the track, costing himself a lot of time. And Peter Grobler has now caught up right onto the back of him. They are starting the 2nd last lap of this race. As we said, this is about 2.5 minutes per lap. There's about 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So as they get more or less to the end of the 2nd last lap, they will start the time will run out and then they will have 1 lap left to go. Will this come down to a 3-way battle for the top 2 or the top 3 positions, or will Peter and Sean just run away from Renier Leach? It's going to be interesting to watch as it comes down to the end of the race. So I think I'll be sticking to the top 2 positions and just wait this one out and watch and see what happens. So Peter is now running in that slipstream. You can see him closing the gap 0.1 of a second now behind him, having a look up on the outside. Can he make the move around the outside, or will he be able to maintain that 1st position? Unfortunately, Sean closed the door there on Peter and keeps that 1st position, but Peter is really trying to get past. He's just waiting out patiently and just maintaining his drive and just hope that Sean makes a little bit of a mistake under pressure so that he can capitalize and take that 1st position away from him again. And Sean knows if he makes a mistake, he's going to lose out to Peter as well as Renier. Now we've got Peter Geldenhuys that's also getting into the fight there with Warwick Stewart right on the back of him. So this is going to end up most probably being a 4-way battle. Now you can see at the top of the screen that the leaders has 2 laps left to go. Like I said, it's 20 minutes plus a lap. So the 20 minutes has expired. So they'll be finishing this lap and then start the final lap for this race. So whoever wants to make a move in this race has to do it quickly. This time is running out. The track is getting shorter. There's about 10 kilometers left in this race as they now run through this final right-hander, and then they got the chicane before the start finish. And this is going to be where it comes into. Peter is running now in that slipstream. Now diving up on the inside. Going to have a look around the outside going through this corner. Can he make it stick, or won't he be able to make it? Yes, he's still sitting there side by side, falling in back behind Sean. Now going to say, okay, I'm going to rather run the slipstream, try and get the best line possible for this chicane coming up now. He's got the inside line, but Sean will have the inside coming into the start finish. Peter has a little bit of a better run, running a bit wide off the track, coming into the start finish. Still has the inside line for the next corner. Peter now takes the lead away, but they are still side by side. If Peter outbreaks himself, he will lose out at least 2 positions, but he slows down early, keeps it tight through there, and keeps that first position. Sean now has a little bit of a faster run out of the corner, having a look up on the inside again. This is a very bad place to want to be side by side, but will they be able to get through it safely, or will one of them back out? And Sean backs out of it and says, you know, I'm not going to cost my race. I'd rather settle here for second position and wait for a next corner to fight that out. Very well done and very good decision there made by Sean. However, he is really pushing it very hard, trying to run the slipstream as Peter just dives up to the outside of the track, breaking that slipstream a bit and getting the best line possible for this chicane before they get that double right-hander. This is about halfway through the final lap. Now Sean has got Renier behind him that he's got to worry about as well. He's got not just fighting now, but defending as at the same time. So he's going to have to make a decision whether he's going to defend or fight, which one is going to be the best option to do, because you can't do both at the exact same time. It will cost you a race. So it seems like he's saying, no, I'm rather going to go for the fight and leave Renier at the back to fight his own fight. I want this first position. I'm not going to settle for second. He's right there on the back, running the slipstreams, trying to get the faster lines into the corners, having a look up on the inside there of Peter as he has a better drive through the corner. But Peter still has the inside line for the next turn. He keeps Sean behind him. He is still maintaining that first position, but Sean gets a fast drive in there. Can he get this one away from Peter, or will he have to settle for second? This is exceptional racing from the top runners in this field, as Peter and Sean is still fighting it out from start to finish now at the moment. We still have Peter and Renier that's also in that mix there in third and fourth position, with Dennis that came up all the way from the back into fifth position now. And then he's got Donnie at the back of him in sixth, James Leach in seventh, Gijsberg in eighth, James Crook in ninth, Warwick Stewart dropped down into 10th, and Stefan there in 11th. But Sean is trying to have a look around the outside of Peter, but Peter unfortunately cuts the track a little bit close, costing himself some time. But they are getting into the final chicane before the start finish. James is having a look up on the inside of Sean, making a little bit of contact there, but Peter is coming home in the first position of this one. Sean and James is having a dice down. Sean and Renier is having a dice down to the finish line. And we've got Peter Grobler in first, Renier Leach in second, Sean losing it out there on the finish for third position. Then we've got Peter Geldnys fourth, Dennis in fifth, Donnie van Rooyen in sixth, James in seventh, Gijsberg in eighth, James in ninth, Warwick in 10th, and in 11th we've got Stefan there. This was very, very good racing and extremely close racing at the end of this race. I know that at the start, unfortunately, Sean was running away, but made a mistake and allowed the rest of the field to catch up onto the back of him there, causing him to lose out in this race. And at the final lap, he lost 2 positions, which is extremely sad for him. But he did the best that he can and made the best out of this race. I'm going to try and see if I can get him in here the top 3 drivers into the server and the chat to have a little bit of a chat to me, and we'll see what they say about the race for tonight. Okay, so far we've got Sean. We need Renier Leach. Is Renier Leach on here? No, unfortunately not. And I see Peter Grobler. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have Renier Leach here, but I do have with me Peter Grobler and Sean Weber in the commentating booth. Good evening, guys. Are you there?
Yes, good evening.
Sean, that was a very, very good run in the second race out there. You started running away with the race, and then something happened, and the rest of the field caught up to the back of you. What went wrong there?
Oh, I outbraked myself, and yeah, I just lost rhythm when I touched the sand. It slowed my car down so much that they caught me by the end of the straight, and then I was shaken for the rest of the race. I just never was able to control it.
Yeah, no, that kitty litter is a little bit of a tough one. The moment you hit it, it tends to slow the car down almost instantly. I know when I did a few laps just off the server and tried to see what it feels like. If you run a bit wider, you do tend to lose out quite a lot. But overall, very well done in the race. You did very well out there. I
Thank
can
you.
see some of the guys on the YouTube channel that is shouting for you. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I haven't looked on the YouTube channel. I've just been off here. No, just shout out to everybody who's supporting me. Probably the SSR guys, eh?
Yeah, I know you're racing for the SSRA group, which has quite a few drivers in the Class B and C division. I think you're the only one that's here in the Division A class.
Yes.
But very well done to you, and I hope you have a great night further.
Thank you, Tommy.
Peter Grobler, are you there? Seems like we've lost Peter. Fortunately, I'm going to see if I can get Dennis in here to have a bit of a chat with me. Hello, Dennis. Dennis?
Tommy,
Hi, Dennis. I can hear you now. How are you doing?
yourself.
I'm doing well. You are in the commentators booth with me. I know you did extremely well in the first race, taking that first position and then fighting very hard, coming back in the second race, trying to get the top scoring points. But you finished there in fifth position for the second race. But I think overall it does put you quite high up in the scoring points, if not in the lead. How was the race out there for you tonight?
The first race wasn't too bad. It seems like there was a pairing or network issue or something, but as soon as Keon or Melvin disconnected, then my engine suddenly revved high and I was starting to go faster. And then in the second race, yeah, that was really good fun coming through the pack, or trying to. The times were so close, and the smallest mistake, you lost out, and then the guy behind is catching. Yeah, that was great fun.
No, definitely. I saw that you guys at the end of the race, everyone was really fighting it out for their position and trying to keep someone either behind them or try to get into the front there as well. I do see someone on the YouTube channel. I think it's Langley. It's giving a shout out to you, saying they burned tar. I'm not too sure what that means. I'm pretty sure you will know what it means.
Yeah, that's my friend Donnie.
Well, that's good to know. So I'm pretty sure I'm very glad to see that you guys do have supporters out there and the guys do enjoy the racing. Is there anyone you would like to say hi to that's out there tonight?
All my friends and family, I guess, they know who they are.
That's good. Thanks, Dennis, for having a
Thanks,
chat to me, and you must enjoy the rest of the
thanks.
evening. Be safe out there.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Tommy.
The pleasure. Bye bye. Well, again, that is the end of this evening. We had our classes B and C racing together, and then our A class as well. So coming up next week, Sunday, is the finals for this league that we are doing. Like I said, we will have our class B and C racing together again. The race will be taking place on Kyalami. It will again be 2 races of 20 minutes each plus a lap. And then the second race will be a full inverted grid. And then we will have our Class A racing after that with a all-comers welcome as well. So the Class A will be racing for points only, and then there will be some of the Class B and C drivers that will be joining into that fight to make it a bit more interesting and difficult for them to maintain the top positions. But again, it doesn't matter where you end on the field, only the Class A will be scored points accordingly to where they finish. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the in for me tonight. Thank you for joining me here tonight and watching and supporting all of our drivers out there. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, go to our Facebook page, follow us there, stay in touch with what's happening on SRA, and we will be seeing you next week, Sunday. Same time, same place. First race will be starting at about 7:10, so I will be live from then, having all of you here. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy the evening. Good night.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.